What sort of leadership roles suit you best? Can you see yourself excelling in a champion role where you're a highly motivated initiator and catalyst for change? Perhaps another leadership role would better suit you. In this presentation, we will explore leadership roles in the context of global development. Specifically, we will look at some of the most common roles and discuss why understanding them is important for developing leaders. What do we mean by a leadership role? It is a set of responsibilities and activities that a person undertakes to contribute to a group-based leadership process. An example you are probably familiar with is the assigned team leader role, someone who is formally responsible for achieving the objectives of their team. This example is a formal role. An example of an informal role would be a community leader that emerges as a passionate champion to address a pressing issue in their community. One person may also occupy several leadership roles. For example, a champion leader may help to start an initiative and then become an assigned team leader as a group of people work to implement a solution. Working in international development, you will notice that there are many different leadership roles. Unfortunately, there is little consistency in the terms people use to describe these roles. Let's briefly look at 7 roles that you might come across in development work. People occupying the champion role initiate change. They typically question the status quo, promote alternatives, take some risks, act as catalysts of change, and are highly visible early in change processes. They are strongly motivated due to alignment between their personal values and the issue they are addressing. People occupying the boundary-spanning role communicate, influence, and build relationships across boundaries. These boundaries may relate to professional disciplines, cultures, geography, insiders and outsiders, organisations, or levels of management. They bring people together, foster collaboration, act as interpreters, build trust between groups, and broker information. Authorising leaders have position power or authority. Examples include politicians or executives in donor organisations. They may have significant decision-making authority or access to substantial resources. Trusted advisors are people who have a close relationship with authorising leaders. An example would be an independent, trusted consultant that frequently advises a government minister. Team leaders coordinate and monitor the activities of a group of people who need to work together to meet shared goals. An example would be a leader of a multidisciplinary team of people who have come together to work on a development project. Adaptive leaders, sometimes called enabling leaders, create spaces for stakeholders to build a shared understanding of the problem, experiment to find local solutions, and learn by doing. This style of leadership is needed to address complex challenges. When solutions are found by stakeholders through experimentation, the adaptive leader helps to implement them on a larger scale. An example would be a leader who facilitates action learning through a set of trial projects to address a complex social problem. Finally, thought leaders are people with advanced knowledge in a particular area, independence and credibility. Examples could include a distinguished university professor or a respected elder in a local community. Have you been able to identify some of these roles in the case studies we've provided in this course? I hope so. At this stage, you may be thinking, what are the practical implications of understanding these roles? I think there are 3 implications we should be aware of. First, we need to understand that leadership in the context of global development typically involves many people playing different leadership roles, working together to drive change. Building relationships between these people, cultivating a shared vision, and coordinating their activities is critical to success. Second, it's likely that we'll have to play some of these leadership roles throughout our careers. When we do, we need to have the knowledge, skills, and confidence to do them well. Learning about these roles helps us to prepare. For example, advanced social networking abilities are needed for the boundary-spanning leadership role. Third, it's likely that some of these roles will suit our nature and strengths more than others. As a personal example, I'm currently most effective and comfortable playing the champion and thought leader roles. Spending most of our time in roles that suit us, whilst also developing the ability to play other roles as needed, is part of self-leadership. Finally, let's focus on you as a developing leader. Now that we have a broad understanding of leadership roles, including some that are common in the development sector, please reflect on these 5 questions. 1. Which leadership roles do you need to do well now? 2. Which leadership roles do you anticipate needing to do well in the future, given your career aspirations? 3. Which leadership roles are likely to suit you best, given your nature, personal values, strengths and weaknesses? 4. To what extent do you have the ability to move into different leadership roles as circumstances change? 5. What practical actions could you take to learn more about these roles in order to play them well? You may not have answers to all these questions yet. For example, you may realise that you need to improve your ability to play the team leader role now, but need more time and experience to gain clarity about what roles you might excel in. That's okay. Please ensure you carefully consider these questions as you build your leadership development plan.